Warning, what you are about to hear are the thoughts of four ordinary dudes with no agenda and absolutely no filter. Please, do not attempt any of this at home, and try not to get butthurt. Welcome to the Dude to Dude podcast.
Hey dudes, it's Jimmy.
What's up, guys? It's Maddie.
What's up? It's John.
Hey dudes, it's Billy, and we have another returning guest this week.
Hi, my name's Phil Huff.
So, for our long-term listeners, you would know that Phil has a truly heartbreaking story. But with the loss of all of our old episodes, we thought it would be a great opportunity to get Phil back into the studio, into the studio for the first time, and, you know, be able to tell his and Ian's story again. So you can start off. I have questions if you want, man.
I was going to say, literally, you asked the questions last time.
Okay.
And since you asked the questions last time, it was the easiest way.
Okay, I got you, man. But last time I went into the interview without really knowing your story at all, and it caught me way off guard. This time I'm more emotionally prepared. I don't know if I'm more prepared to ask questions, but
Understandable.
So let's just start it off. Why don't you fill in our listeners on your story to start off with?
So my story. So when I was a kid, all right, we'll just start it off there.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was about 9 years old, and my sister wound up dying in a car accident the month after she just turned 16. And it hit the whole family pretty hard. It really kind of fucked me up in general. And I was in counseling in school for it. I was in counseling, family counseling for it and everything else. And then later on in life, I wound up losing one of my cousins right down the road from my house, actually, because he was coming to the trailer park that I was in to go see his girlfriend at the time, and he wound up dying on the way. Wow. And then it was 2015, it was Thanksgiving night, I sat down at my friend's house for dinner and everything else, and I got a phone call from Child Protective Services. And that's when they told me and informed me that my son was in the hospital. And he was in guarded condition, and that I needed to prepare myself for what I was going to see. I mean, I still tear up every time I talk about this.
Understandably, man.
Understandably so, definitely.
They told me point blank to, prepare yourself for what you're about to see. There's nothing that we can actually really do to prepare you for this, because no one should ever have to deal with this. And that's when she dropped on me that my son was covered from head to toe in lacerations and bite marks. And it was just, I wound up going up to Strong, and that's when they told me that he was brain dead. And they were going to keep him on life support and hope that his chemicals came back proper. And when they did, and he didn't, we had to pull the plug. After all of that, I wound up going into a really depressive spiral. My health declined really bad, and I was fighting for my daughter. I was doing my best to try and go to visitations and everything else like that, and unfortunately, due to the fact of my physical health and going downhill, it was affecting my mental health and everything else, and they couldn't tell me what was wrong with me. They couldn't figure it out. My body was fighting something, but they couldn't find anything in my body. I have no idea. But after all that, they wound up taking my rights technically away from me to my daughter. And at that point in time, I had nothing left to fight for. So I wound up going down, spiraled so far down. I wound up getting addicted to heroin and crack, and I wound up sobering up from that after I was spending about $2,800 a week on it.
Jesus.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, and then one day it was a bad batch. It was just the first. I literally just did the first bump of blow. The heroin, and I've never shot it. Only needles that touch this body are at the hospital. Tattoo needles or piercing needles. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I took my head a crack and to counteract the effects, but I still T-Rex. Like, I grayed out, like I dropped, and I was in the process of throwing up out the car door going down the highway. At the time, I blacked out.
Jesus.
Thankfully, I had my seatbelt on, and my buddy was grabbing a hold of me because I woke up with my face about 7.5 inches from 490 at 75 miles an hour.
My God, man.
And that's when I just looked at him and handed him everything. I was like, fuck this. I don't need it no more. I don't want it no more. No nothing. Just see you later. Bye.
And that's the last time you used?
Uh-huh.
Wow, good for you, man.
Thank you. I haven't touched it since. I don't want it.
How long's it been for you now?
God, that was in 2000. Shit. 8 years now? 7
Okay.
years now?
Good for you, man. Congratulations.
So-
That's awesome.
I would say it was 2016, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're
didn't want to belch into the microphone.
good, man. You do you. I mean, that's a lot of loss to go through.
Absolutely. And that's just a rundown really fast. Like,
Yeah.
only because, like, if you want to, like I said, the questions, that's where, like, the depth comes into play.
I got you, man.
Because you know what everyone wants to hear, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but remember,
We know what questions to ask this time.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
But this show isn't, no offense to our listeners, but this show isn't about them. This show is about you.
Well, all right, so all honesty here,
Yeah, man.
when it comes to my son, all right, what news didn't cover was the fact that my son wound up actually having anal tearing, fissures, basically. One of his testicles was receded into his body. His left pupil was blown. His liver was lacerated. The only thing that we could actually donate that wasn't damaged was his heart and his kidneys. The dude wound up getting we couldn't donate any skin tissue. We couldn't donate any bone marrow, or nothing. Just his heart and his kidneys. Seasoned investigators were on the stand crying about it, as they were explaining what they saw and what they had to, what they came to the conclusion actually happened to my son, and the way that the medical examiner explained it to the judge and to the whole courtroom was that my son suffered injuries equivalent to a high-speed car crash, and that was just at the hands of one man.
Wow. Okay. Let's start at the beginning, if you don't mind.
Yep, absolutely.
So you and is it your ex-wife,
Yeah,
ex-girlfriend?
it's ex-fiance technically.
Okay. You guys had split.
Mm-hmm.
She had custody. You guys had joint custody.
No, actually. So what happened was, I always forget about this part because this is what got me, because she screwed me up. Because in New York State, I didn't realize that if there is no paper through the court system stating who has custody, I can go get my children at any time I want to, and she can't tell me otherwise. I didn't know that, so I just agreed with her and started doing things her way. So I let her keep the kids most of the time, and I'd get them every other weekend.
Gotcha. So she, for the most part, had custody of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously she was working.
Mm-hmm.
She had a job. Now I've gone through and I've read all the police reports. I don't know if you guys have.
I did at the time of the first interview.
Yeah. That's kind of when I did it, but I went and refreshed everything. So, from my understanding, Ian was left in the custody of her father, your ex-fiance's father.
Yep.
And in the house was also the man who did this,
Yep.
which was your ex-fiance's, at the time, boyfriend. Now, do you want to use his name?
Oh yeah, you can definitely say Dakota's name.
Okay. All right. I do forget his last
Dakota Miller is the guy that did it.
name. Okay.
So
All right. So, yeah, he was convicted of this. Like, there's no. He's still in prison for this.
Yeah.
How long did he end up getting?
So because he got charged with manslaughter in the first degree, and he got convicted of manslaughter in the first degree, I should say, the judge wound up actually like giving him the full sentence of mandatory 25 years.
Okay.
And then on murder in the second, he wound up getting 25 years to life. So after he has to serve a mandatory 25 years before he can even hit the parole board.
Wow. Okay.
Instead of like 21 and a half, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So
He has to at least serve that full sentence.
oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
He's not gonna make it out.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
They don't look kindly on people like that. In there.
No.
Hell no.
There's a code amongst thieves, whether people like it or not. No women or children. When you go in there, and
Let alone
you
the
fuck with
severity
women
of
or
it at
children.
that, too.
Oh yeah.
correct.
I'm
Like,
sure they make him relive what he did on a regular basis.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I hope that's what he's getting.
That's
I
enough
really
answer.
hope.
That's all the answer we need, man. Okay. So it's Thanksgiving night, you said.
Yep.
And your ex-fiance, she's out at work.
Yep.
Ian is in the custody of her father at the time. And then, well, next thing you know is that you get a phone call.
Yep.
That you would explain to
so
us.
actually, when she was at work, that was the night before Thanksgiving. I got the call on Thanksgiving night.
Oh,
Yep. So on the 25th, she wound up coming home from work around 11 o'clock. And when she came home, she wound up making herself a salad and sitting down and watching an episode of Family Guy before even checking on either one of the children.
See, I don't get.
Me either. I don't
It
either.
doesn't matter who's with my kids, whether like I come home and my wife's there with her son. Like, I'll take my boots off so I don't track shit into the house. And the first thing I go do if they're not right there is I go, "Hey, how was your guys' day?"
yeah.
Like-
People like her should not have children.
That's
Like even when I come home, like for instance, like when I go home after being here with you guys, you know, I get home late, they're in bed. I walk down the hall, kid's bedroom, right? He's sleeping, he's good. Then I go to my bedroom.
Yeah, and I mean that's how we all feel it should be.
Sorry, not to
I don't
cut.
even have
Oh, no,
kids,
you're
and I feel like
Yeah, if I came home and my cat wasn't like coming
Right.
to greet me, I go look for my cat.
Right.
oh, that was
yeah,
the best
I
too.
get it.
We
Right.
walked in the door and Wiz comes running down the stairs. Hey, what's up?
That's the cat's equivalent way of Dad's home.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's fucking wild.
Okay, so
whoa,
excuse me.
man down.
Good catch. You got it.
No, from my understanding, Dakota wasn't even supposed to be around your children.
So, in the court order that went, because when we did go to court and she was given custody of the children, which was 21 days before this happened,
Okay.
because it was on the 4th of November. On the 25th, she took my son to the hospital, but he wasn't supposed to be around my children unsupervised.
Okay.
So that means eyes on him at all times. Means he's not allowed to be in a room without any supervision with one of the children. Unfortunately, that's not what happened.
What happened in the first place to make that a thing?
So Dakota, back when he was 16, he was acquitted of charges of the same concept, but not to a degree.
Okay.
There was a little girl involved. He wound up breaking her arm and a couple of her ribs, grabbing her by the arm and throwing her into the wall.
What the fuck, dude?
Right. He also, when he was, all right. So there was also there's a closed report from when he was younger. I can't actually disclose that information as to what was in it. However, he grew up in boys' homes, and there was a reason behind it. And when he was 16, he had that happen, and then he wound up going to prison after that for burglary in the 3rd degree.
Okay.
And then Yeah.
So he'd been arrested before.
Oh, yeah.
He'd been in the system, and it's not like the law didn't know who he was. So okay, I'm just because the news reports didn't cover everything. Like I got a lot more information out of you last episode than the police reports ever would cover.
Yeah, from what I remember reading, it was all super very vague.
Yeah. Yep. Which is understandable because Ian being as young as he was, that
Yeah.
There's
It's a
certain
fucking
things they
horrendous
want. Yeah,
thing.
and what you guys as the family wanted out at that point in time,
Right.
which fully respect. So, all right, Ian and Dakota wind up alone somehow.
Mhm.
You get reports that Ian has bite marks, lacerations,
Yep.
broken bones,
Yep.
concussion.
Yes, technically, that's where the blown pupil came into play.
Okay.
So
Okay. So he had just been brutalized.
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm so fucking sorry. I so hard to even fucking talk to you about this, man. I feel so bad.
yeah, don't please. Honestly, how do I put this? It helps me to be able to talk about it. You know what I mean? And also, somebody's got to ask the questions because, like, in general, it's just in life at this point in time. Because every time I ask the question, it's to people who immediately get upset about it and like, we can't talk about this. I'm like, all right, cool. So like, you know what I mean?
As long as you're comfortable
Yeah,
with this,
no,
man, that is the most important thing.
So you had mentioned that he was left with the grandfather.
Yep, him and my daughter both were.
You also made a comment, he's the man that did it.
No, Dakota's the man that did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant. But maybe it was the way that you said it, but were there multiple people involved?
No, all right. See, so just Dakota was involved. So
So
the
just-
grandfather and my daughter were in the other room,
Gotcha.
hanging out, watching cartoons and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, Ian's not feeling good, so I'm gonna go lay Ian down." And he took him in the other room. And when he took him in the other room, he went to go lay him down and change his diaper and stuff. But that's not what happened. So, yeah.
How people can be in another room and not be fucking aware fucking baffles me. Ed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so your ex-fiance gets home.
Mm-hmm.
She eats her salad,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually goes to check on the kids.
Yep.
Do you know what happens at that point?
So at that point, when she went and checked on Ian, she noticed that he wasn't moving and that he wasn't really breathing and this, that, and the third. And so she went and like grabbed a hold of him and realized that he was non-responsive. And she wound up, because they literally lived across the 4-lane in Hornell from the hospital. She literally just balled him up and walked him across. But that's what she used as her excuse. The reason why they didn't want to call the police and have an ambulance do it was because of the simple fact that if the cops were involved, Dakota would have gone to jail immediately.
Where the fuck wouldn't you want him to?
She was trying to protect him the whole time. The only reason why she and her father testified against him was because they were going to go to prison themselves for violating a court order.
So when they get to the hospital, what do they say? What does she say happened to Ian?
She sat there and said she didn't know because she just got home from work. He's the one that said that him and his sister were playing too rough and this, that, and the third and everything else. And then the story changed to a board fell on him at his dad's house, and Sapphire pushed him onto a bunch of toys. Yeah, so like
What time was he admitted into the hospital?
it was a little after 11 at night. On the 25th, and then
at what time was he supposedly going to be laid down?
it was around like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Oh my God!
Checked on him.
No, no one checked on him.
That is beyond stressful.
The only person that checked on him was Dakota.
Okay, so for the next 24 hours, why aren't you informed?
They were playing phone tag with me, but the reason the reason they were playing phone tag with me was because my baby mama refused to give them my phone number. She swore up and down she didn't have it. The reason why she didn't give them my phone number is because she knew my daughter was coming to me. The moment she gave them my number.
So she was just trying to.
Keep the kid.
Uh-huh. And then, in turn, my daughter wound up in foster care. And now, yeah. So, and then now she's back in the family. Her guardian and her are doing all right. But, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
All right. So I was gonna. I want to touch on that a little bit, because your daughter still being here. It's awesome that she is. It's awesome that you still have that family. I mean, obviously, it doesn't make up for your loss,
right.
but and especially that she's in the family still.
Yeah.
After going into foster care, we, two of the four of us, well, two of the five of us,
Well, we know that system.
Same. So, I've been there myself, so when I was a kid.
So,
So,
three of the
fourth.
five. Yeah. Wait, you two?
Oh no, I thought
No,
you said 3 originally, so 3.
Oh, not me, dude.
I thought 4.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
fucking confused.
yeah, right.
I can't
all right.
math, bro.
Jesus, Matt. So you finally get contacted.
Mhm.
Do you mind talking about your reaction to that?
Oh, all right. So, I mean, when I was explaining when I got the phone call earlier at dinner, I started to break down as I was explaining it. When I got the act when the words hit me, like it took everything in me not to just collapse and like break. But I sat down and I broke. Like, I felt part of me just leave. And then I immediately, like, I got up because I was like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta get there one way or the other, My mom was all the way in Middlesex. I was in Canandaigua. They mercy flighted my son from Hornell to Strong the night before. Like, he actually was that morning. He left Hornell Hospital to Strong on a mercy flight at 11:59 and got to Strong around 12:25. And I walked into the house because I was at my friend's house having Thanksgiving dinner, and when I walked in, everyone just looked at me. And I wound up breaking a little bit more. And I told them, thank you for dinner, even though I didn't get to eat anything. I literally just sat down, went to go take a bite, and my phone rang. And I told them I needed to go to the hospital. And they asked me why, and I explained to them what was going on. And I just turned and walked out the door and took off. I started sprinting. I called my mom. I'm hauling ass up Main Street, Canandaigua. And as I'm hauling ass and I'm talking to my mom on the phone, my mom's like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, I'm on my way to Strong right now. I'm running. I'm running up Main Street right now. And she goes, why? And I was like, well, your grandbaby's in there. He's not going to make it. We got to go. And she just hung up the phone, got in the car with my grandpa and my stepdad, and they met me at the toll booth in Farmington on 332. Well, where the toll booth used to be, I should say now, because they're not there anymore.
New York State.
Yep, not New York State. But when we got up there, when we got to the hospital, because when we first got there, I called because I wanted to make sure that I wanted to make sure this wasn't some fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't happen to you, kind of a thing. You know, like, so this is bullshit, kind of a thing. Like, I wanted to make sure.
Sick fucking joke.
Yeah, right. I wanted it to be a sick fucking joke. Like, at this point in time, I wanted somebody to jump on me like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it just, I'm still waiting for it. Like, it's fucked. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I still wait for it to this day sometimes.
Yeah.
It's fucked, but so, and then they wouldn't give me any information until like I actually like showed up and gave them my ID to prove who I was. And that's when they're like, okay, wait right here. And then they had 2 detectives come down and get me, my mom, and my stepdad. My grandpa's knees were bad, so at the time, I mean, he passed away unfortunately since, and so did my mom. But
I'm sorry for that.
thank you guys. But so he stayed down there. We got up there. And that's when the doctor came in the room, and the 2 detectives, or investigators, I should say at this time, they wound up standing outside of the room. But mind you, the whole floor is crawling with police, crawling with troopers, and at this point in time, I know something really fucking bad happened and is about to happen. And they when the doctor, she made me sit down and told me what was wrong with Ian, and then explained to me that they weren't expecting him to make it, that pulling the plug was probably going to be the thing that we were going to have to do, and we had to, and as soon as they told me that he wasn't going to make it, that's when everything set in. And it took 7 officers to hold me down because I was freaking the fuck out.
Can't blame you, man. Yeah, I don't think anyone could blame you for that.
No.
You're good, dude. Take a breath. Take your time.
The worst part is most of them started crying because if they were in my shoes, they would feel the same way. And to watch a father, or as a father, to watch another father go through that,
It's heartbreaking.
absolutely. The worst part is when I was a kid, I watched my dad go through it. So, like, I thought my dad would be the one to, like, be able to help me the most. I was like, Dad, you're the only person I could talk to. You know what it's like. And, I mean, he helped me out a lot through it. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we were, had an estranged relationship as I was a kid, but, like, we both grew from that and, figured shit out. But, like, and I told him, I was like, you're the only person I could talk to about it. You know what it's like to lose a child? And he goes, yeah, but I'm going to have to stop you right there because, yeah, I lost a child, but you were fucking robbed of yours. And I was like, bro, that shattered me even more. I'm not going to lie. But, like, my dad sat with me through the next night. I mean, because I called my dad, too, on my way to the hospital. And my dad was just sitting down at Thanksgiving dinner in Florida, in fucking Florida. And I called him, and I told him what was going on, told him where I was going. And he made it from Florida to Straw Memorial Hospital in less than 19 hours. Him and my Uncle Red ate their dinner, and then they got in the truck and they left. And he sat with me during the all the paperwork for Ian's organ donations and stuff. And what messed up the people from the donation organization, they wound up as they're talking to me about it, they're like, it's okay, like, take your time. And my dad's like, and they're like, it's a hard decision. And my dad just looks at me, and, like, he grips me on the shoulder, and he's like, letting me know it's okay. And he sat there, and he's like, listen, bud. He's like, we did it with your sister. And I was like, all right, I understand. Like, we should do this then. And then all, like, everyone from the organization just literally just looked up at him and was just like, you've already done this before? And he's like, I did. His older sister, yeah. And everybody in the room just like broke down for a minute. It was, you know.
It's a lot of loss, man.
Oh yeah, it's life is death, life is death for the living. And the reason I say this is that's all we're surrounded by. It's the one constant we have. There's the one constant we have. We're gonna live and we're gonna die. That's it. Like, it's just up to us to make it the best we can. It's as cliche as it sounds. It's the make the best of the hand you're dealt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're here for a good time, not a long
Long
time.
time. Absolutely. Would you guys like to take a minute?
I know I would. Would you?
Yes, I
Okay.
would. I would love to.
Hey there, dudes. We interrupt this episode to remind you that the Dude to Dude podcast is proudly brought to you by, well, us, the dudes themselves. Are you enjoying the wild and hilarious conversations we have on the show? Want more mind-expanding discussions about aliens, social life, paranormal phenomena, video games, movies, mental health, and everything in between? Well, good news, dudes. We've got a whole library of episodes ready for your listening pleasure. Join us every week as we dive deep into fascinating topics, share our unique perspectives, and have a blast along the way. Whether we're riffing on public domain movies, geeking out about the latest gaming trends, or exploring the mysteries of the universe, there's never a dull moment on the Dude to Dude podcast.
All right, Phil. So where we left off was you were at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
They had informed you what had happened to your son.
Mm-hmm.
You, I guess you noticed quite a presence of state police.
Yeah. So yes. So it took 7 of them to hold me down as I was, breaking down. After that, they wound up escorting me to the room where my son was, and as soon as they got me out of the room and I saw my baby mom in the room with my son, I flinched because all the rage that I just had, all the rage I had finding this out, and the deep sadness that had hit me was nothing compared to the rage that I saw and was filled with the moment I saw her.
You saw red.
Oh no.
You wanted to black out.
I went purple. You
Holy
don't
shit.
understand. My face got so red, I turned purple. And I flinched forward, and they grabbed a hold of me and put me on the floor. And that's when I broke again, and I was like, I started screaming. I was like, you need to get her the fuck out of there. I was not nice.
You were turning violet and violent.
Verbally violent. That was the worst part. It was just wow. I surprised myself with the things that came out of my mouth that evening. Okay.
You touched on, and you had mentioned that she tried covering for him. So at this point, I'm assuming he's not locked up. Was he at
Where was
the hospital?
where was he
Yeah.
at this
All
point?
right. So he wasn't at the hospital.
Okay.
He was actually at the house, at his house, at their apartment where this happened. Or no. Sorry, he was with his parents. He was with his parents because he couldn't go back to an active crime scene. So he wound up. That's where he was when this happened, and then I honestly don't know where my daughter was while this was happening. All right. All I know is that when they sat there and they got his dental impressions to match the bite marks on Ian, that's when she finally sat there and was like, no, fuck that motherfucker, and turned on him.
So,
She defended him for that fucking long.
Yeah, we were in the hospital. We were in the hospital.
She knew his history?
Yeah.
well, okay. So she obviously knew that he did it, right?
From the jump.
She should have.
Okay, but so she says she doesn't know that he did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right.
She said she didn't know. that,
No.
that he did it or not at the time.
Well,
As much as I hate to admit this,
John,
I've actually.
hold on. So our personal opinions, we got to be careful with them on air. You got to be careful with them. So
Words.
words, yes.
Grumble, grumble.
That's just lawsuits involved, and I don't feel like dealing with that.
Fair.
Now, so she says she didn't know what had happened, but now when you say she turned on him, what do you mean?
So the moment they sat there, because she had been like, no, I don't think he would do that. Blah 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 blah. Blah. You should see him with the kids. He's great. Blah 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 blah. This that and the third, and then all of a sudden they're like the teeth marks matched to his dental records that they had on file, and all of a sudden flipped script and was like, oh, that dirty motherfucker. I knew those stories were true. Blah blah blah.
Gotcha.
Fucking.
I don't mean to laugh, but man, watching that shit unfold like within
Rage.
10 seconds, dude,
Yeah.
it was. How do I put this? To watch a psychopath at work, priceless.
Jesus.
Fair enough.
Okay, so she says she doesn't know. She flips on him, and at this point, so I mean, why? I guess my question is, why in the first place do you know why the police got his dental records?
They had him because he was in prison.
No, I understand that, but like, why?
Oh, because he was the main suspect.
Okay.
Right off the
Do you-
right off the rip, he was the main suspect.
Do you know why, or was it just his history?
It's because of his history, the
Okay.
fact that he wasn't supposed to be around the kids, and he was the last one around Ian.
They had their
Okay.
They had
I mean,
his
it-
records
it-
on file already.
Absolutely.
It all obviously makes sense.
Absolutely.
but
It all just led to him. You know what I mean? So.
I just wanted to clarify for myself.
Oh, no, absolutely understandable.
Sounds like the investigators are halfway fucking intelligent for that neck of the woods.
Well, because unfortunately, when it comes to violent child abuse crimes, most motherfuckers are repeat offenders.
Yeah, and that hits everybody, man.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants to fucking see that except a sick individual. You know what I mean?
Fair.
It's always just one rule of life: just leave fucking kids alone.
For real. So you guys are in the hospital. You're obviously at this point in contact with your ex-fiance. Are you guys talking? Are you? Because I understand that like you're obviously enraged.
So at first, no. So what happened was when my dad showed up, he made me go in the room while she was there and hold myself, be the bigger person. You know what I mean? As much as I didn't want to, it needed to be done. However, I took my fucking jab as I could verbally because she walked right into it. Literally, I'm sitting there, I'm fucking crying. I'm over top of my little boy, and I kiss him on the forehead, and I tell him I love him, and I'm because I had to go eat something. I had to force myself to eat because I wasn't fucking eating anything. And all of a sudden, she's like, "You can blame me. I know it's my fault. You can be mad at me." I was like, honestly, and I got real down low over top of my little boy. And I started rubbing his head. I was looking at him. I was like, and honestly, I'm not even mad at you. And I just looked up at her, looked her dead in the eyes. I was like, I'm fucking disappointed in you. And I walked away. And like, and that was my verbal jab. That was all I could get out. But she walked right into it.
Wow.
Like, I know that sounds like cold as fuck of me to do, but like at the same time, fuck her. I have feelings too. Like,
Okay.
it was her fault.
So it's hard as an outside observer not to be mad at her, at your ex-fiance. It is very hard not to be mad at her. And And while I have the anger, I also understand that she is a mother, that she probably really loved Ian. I don't understand why she would leave Dakota anywhere near her children.
She didn't. They were around her dad, and see this right here is why.
So okay, so now you also had mentioned that they were going to be tried along with the murder. Can you get into any of that at all?
All right. So what happened was there was a court order. Dakota wasn't allowed around the children unsupervised. Okay. He was obviously around my child unsupervised. So they both violated a court order.
Gotcha.
So that's punishable by up to 7 years in a maximum security prison in New York State. All right. It states it on the court order. Okay. Now, the problem is because they testified against him, they were granted immunity and got to walk.
Now, do you feel that they should have been granted?
Oh yeah, no, they should have been tried.
Okay.
They should have been tried.
Okay.
She should have had that baby in jail.
She was pregnant at the time?
Oh, dude, yeah, she had a baby okay, so this happened in November, and then in January she wound up having his baby.
Oh.
And then that baby was taken from her that day. And then when we were going to court later on, still over this whole thing with my daughter and everything else, I found out she had a whole nother baby with her new man, and she's not allowed around that baby unsupervised or any of his other children unsupervised. They have to have a government-sanctioned babysitter come into their house when he goes to work.
Why does she still have children?
So
you can't force people to not be able to,
so
John.
She has custody of Dakota's child.
No.
Okay. Dakota's child is in foster care.
Dakota's child is placed with my daughter with one of her family members.
Okay. I
Because that is her little brother too.
yeah.
You know
I don't want to get too much into it because they're children.
I mean, but regardless,
Yeah.
he's an innocent soul in all this anyway.
Right.
So.
Right. Exactly. And then she has had another child that she does have custody of.
Yeah.
Okay. But she's not allowed around her own child unsupervised.
Yep. Nor the other two, mine and her other little one.
But she still has contact with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just trying to paint the picture and trying to see where everything lies. Wow, I'm a little fucking flabbergasted right now, to be honest with you. I don't remember that, or I didn't realize that from the talking to you before.
Oh yeah, this is the roller coaster, Bill. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember the roller coaster.
I think I recall starting that episode with "Buckle in, kids. It's gonna be a roller coaster ride."
Yeah.
It's by no means a negative thing towards a child, but that it's gonna sound really fucked up for me to say, but if I was in the same shoes, being robbed of my son, I couldn't help but feel some type of way.
Rage.
Towards the child?
Yes, but no. No animosity, obviously, towards a child, but it...
Knowing where they came from? Is that
Yeah.
what you mean?
Because to me, that would be the ultimate twisting the metaphorical fucking knife in the wound.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the thing is being able to... the
That
reason...
hurts me as a person to say that.
But that's where you would have to forgive the person that did it. Not forget what happened, but forgive the person.
I couldn't.
Understandable, but for me, on the other hand, I had to learn to be able to forgive that it happened, or that he did it,
And I got to be
and not
honest,
forget it. I had to for my own soul because it was literally eating me alive.
I give you credit because I don't think I'm that strong of a man.
I didn't think I was either until I was put in those shoes, dude. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I don't.
I don't think I could find forgiveness in my heart, any form of it.
And people wonder why I don't want to bring children into the world.
Well, yeah. So I was
It's a
just.
scary fucking place.
No shit.
I was gonna say, having no children, it's not that I can't sympathize with you, but I can't even put myself in a place to think about how I would feel about that, because that loss has to be so deep for you. So for you to say that you have forgiven that act is unreal, man. Like Matt said, I give you so much credit. You are a very strong man.
I'd do a slow clap, but it would fuck up Bill's editing process.
I'll fuck you up.
Golf clapping.
So,
Coffee house.
coffee house.
Oh, wrong one.
Spider-Man? Oh, wait.
The roller coaster.
That's the real clapper.
That's the real clapper. I fucking can't.
I had to crack a joke. I was feeling too serious.
He almost broke. We almost broke him, guys.
No, we're not.
Close, but you didn't do it.
We're not going to do it.
Damn it.
Are there any stories that you would like to share of memories of Ian?
Oh, dude. Okay, so there was this one time, fucking, we were at my mom's house, and the funniest thing is I never realized how adventurous he was until this day, because we always left the back door open, both of the back doors, to let the breeze come through the house, and he never ever wanted to go play outside. Till one day, I noticed him and the dog are missing. Always come to find out, him and the dog, best fucking friends. Didn't realize it. They were always in the house together. I was working a lot, so like, as I was working, my mom was taking care of the babies, and like I'd come home, like when I have them on the weekends, I'd come home, and then that was the funny part. When I'd come home from work and my mom had my babies, I still checked in on my babies the moment I walked through the door. I took my shoes off, fucking took off my greasy ass fucking shirt because I worked in the deli, like, and fucking went in to go see if they were all right, you know?
Yep, that's what you do, man.
But like, I was like, uh-oh. So like, I go out the back door, my mom's just laughing her ass off. So like, I'm like, all right, what are you laughing at? I'm freaking, I'm having a panic attack, right? No, he was with grandma. But I didn't realize he's sitting there riding on the dog in the backyard like he's a horse. And mind you, this is a pit bull, okay? Like, he was like a blonde brindle pit bull, and his name was Pip, like P-I-P.
So what happened is the baby looked at the human baby and went like, we always behave. Let's fucking do it.
Let's do it.
Settle up, partner.
Dead ass. I was like, yo. I'm like, why is that my kid? Like, and my daughter's my daughter's sitting there just laughing away with grandma, fucking just eating M&Ms. I'm like, bro, that's my kid too. What the fuck is happening here? Like,
That's awesome, man.
One's a munchin' and one's a crunch.
both in my moods, bro. Like, those were my spirit animals. You know what I mean? Like, those are perfect embodiments of me right there. Like, shit.
I feel like as a parent, especially a father moment, like, I'd feel so much pride seeing my kid fucking riding a dog around, because that's all I can picture in my head is to battle.
Yes, but the funniest part was like the dog knew too. Like, he's going slow. He's like trotting, like, but he's doing like a pretty walk like a horse. I'm like, you fucking, I can't. Dude.
If I don't trap the kid, I'm gonna get a treat.
Right? It's funny as shit.
Thank you for sharing that, man.
Absolutely.
That is an awesome memory.
Absolutely.
For me, it's like the equivalent of coming home, and Leon is like addicted to like Neverland Pirates. So like he runs around going, "Ahoy, your eye!" The other day, last night actually, we were in the living room playing around. He was sitting on the couch next to my wife, and my wife's like, "All right, Leon, it's bedtime," and he hops down. No, and she goes, "You need to grab your cup and go into your bedroom." He looks right at her and goes, Aye, mommy.
Right.
And walks away. And I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
what?
Time for bed.
Right.
Okay, so, obviously there's been an impact on you and your family. Can you describe that and, how today it might impact you guys?
So, I mean, how do I put this? So, like, it's one of the big reasons why me and my dad have connected on a different level now. But, it affects me more than it does anybody else in the family, I should say, because the people that it did affect, the ones that like were there with him all the time. I mean, the ones that it affected the most, I should say, the ones that were there with him all the time and hanging out with him and my daughter and me and like actually like being part of it all, are gone. So, you know what I mean? Like, my cousin Amber died in a car accident. My mom died from cancer. My granddad died from cancer.
Wow.
So, that happened within the first 3 years after this happened. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of loss.
It is
So-
a ton, man.
And the worst part is like, my cousin Amber wound up dying in a car accident literally a month and a half before my mom succumbed to cancer finally. So, like, I was shocked. You know, and like I went and told my mom what happened, and like I tried. My mom was already like losing her mind and stuff. Like it was heartbreaking to watch. Like when you watch the person who brought you life, no matter how they may have treated you, how wrong they might have raised you,
Kills a piece of you.
absolutely. But to watch them like dwindle to nothing, like. I swore to God I was looking at Skeletor the last day I saw my mom. Like it was horrendous. And I hate to say it that way, but like that's the only way I can explain it. Like it was a skeleton with skin on it still.
It's do you mind if I ask what your mother was going through?
So in her IVC blood vessel, one of the main arteries that runs from the heart down, she had cancer in it. She had a tumor in it. So and they replaced it. Well, the thing is, they didn't get everything out. So they went in, they replaced it again, and got the rest of the root out. Well, the problem is my. I have choice words for this man. Anyway, my stepdad showed up sick to my mom's recovery room, and she was in quarantine because she had an open zipper stitch on her fucking chest from here, like from her sternum down to just above her belly button. Okay, it was like it literally looked like a zipper. And the fucked up part is she was on an incubator. Like, you could not be sick in the slightest. If you even peaked fucking allergies, you can't come in. Motherfucker came in with influenza.
Jesus Christ.
And the worst part is he gave that to her. So the recovery process took so fucking long, and she lost so much like oomph and momentum and like motivation that she had to like continue going, because she was dwindling so fast because she couldn't recover fast enough because of what happened. Right. And then he cheated on her and gave her some shit, and fucking it fed it even more. So yeah, and like it was all fucked up. Oh. And like didn't even cry at her funeral, and then my fucking granddad died and he didn't even show up to it. I was like, wow. I was like, motherfucker, listen here. So, like I said, I have choice words
Fuck
for
that
motherfucker.
guy.
I have choice words for him, like I said.
Yeah, we can say that. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fair.
Fuck that guy.
we can say that all we want.
Fuck
Fuck
that.
that
Your
guy.
couch.
Don't say that too loud. He's been to prisons for so long. He thinks that he's a wrestler too. And like that motherfucker and he swore to God I tried to kill him. He swore to my mom I tried to kill him because he sat there and gave me he wanted to wrestle, like high school wrestling. All my friends do
Oh,
MMA.
I dropped him on his head, Mom.
So,
I'm sorry.
No, I didn't even do that, dude. He gave me his back, so I put him in a rear naked choke, and he wouldn't tap, so I went harder. Fucking tap out, motherfucker, or I'm gonna choke you out.
In reality, he was like,
Oh, Daddy.
Well, here's the problem. He wanted to fight it for so long that he wound up damaging his larynx, and he fucking wound up coughing up blood.
wow.
So he thought I was trying to kill him. And then, like, after that, I was like, no, if I was trying to kill you, I'd use a baseball bat. And he's like, oh, yeah? I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, you think you're a tough guy? So I grabbed the baseball bat. I was like, hey, you want to find out? Let's go. And I chased his ass out of the backyard, dude.
Phil said, I'll show you.
I'll
Hold
show
on.
you. Let's go. Been in prison. Let's go, motherfucker. Prison rules. There are no rules, bitch.
What in the trailer park?
You're gonna play the game.
Oh, no.
Fuck
We were up on a
around,
hill in
find
Middlesex,
out.
bro. Fuck that noise. Fuck around and find out. No, he fucked around and almost found out that day.
God, I wish we could share the things we did to my mom's ex.
Oh, God.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll get your mom on here.
Can I be here for that? Please? I only live like an hour down the road, guys.
You can take my place because I won't be here.
So just to
Hour
fill you
down
in
the
real
road.
quick, Phil, Matt's mom owns the Bergen Haunted House, which is one of the most haunted houses in New York State.
My girl's mom is a psychic medium and has been looking for a fucking haunted place to go do. They have her at Watkins Glen right, bro. We need to do like.
If you drop
fuck.
$1,500 in my hand, I will make a connection.
Match made in
It's
heaven.
don't worry.
Give me your mom's name. I'll have my.
I've got her on Facebook.
Oh,
I'll do it
bet.
way cheaper.
Oh, I got you.
Way cheaper.
Still getting my cut.
All right, you get the
It's
blowy
flush or
behind the
cash,
dumpster.
man.
What do you
Flush
want?
or cash?
You want 75%? I'll give you 75%.
I just gave you flash.
I'm a scrotum. Let's go.
Phil, it's only $1.
Bet.
Matt, you get 75 cents. What? It's the bigger cut.
Oh
All right,
god.
back to serious notes. After the incident, after Ian was murdered, I don't even know how to word that, man.
That's literally how you would word that.
That's
this.
the-
Yeah.
That
that's the
is-
correct
That is
wording.
yeah, the correct. Absolutely, yeah. The
It's-
way you're like the hardest way to say it is the
It's-
correct way to say it.
All right.
So-
So after that, was there any sort of outreach from the community, especially being in a small town?
So I had outreach from Hornell itself. I had outreach from Canada, from family members and friends, from when I was a kid. We used to go up there all the time. My grandpa, my mom, and like it was a big part of my life and shit. Like,
Okay.
we had a campsite, but
Nice.
so I got a bunch of that. I got outreach from them. People in Canandaigua, Naples, like people up here in Rochester, like they had candlelight vigils and stuff, and then like hoping that he was gonna pull through, and like it just unfortunately it wasn't gonna happen. So like and so like after he passed, a few of those places still wound up. Oh, sorry guys, wound up doing another one just in remembrance for him. And it was actually really nice. And a couple of restaurants in Canandaigua wound up actually changing their lights on the outside because one of the locals had passed away, and one of her colors, they wound up putting her color as the light on the outside of the restaurant, and
Okay.
a bunch of places did it in remembrance for her. And then when everything happened with Ian, the lights turned blue for child abuse awareness.
Wow. Okay.
So that was nice. But it was just different communities. Like, and I had people from fucking Mexico messaging me, asking me if I was okay. Like friends of mine, like, you know what I mean? Like, I had my buddy was actually in prison when he heard about it. He saw it on the news, and when he saw it, he sat there and he's like, yo, I know him. He's like, that's my homie. He's like, all right, bet. He's like, guys, if this motherfucker comes in here, please, please. So, you know what I mean? But like, I had letters from inmates. I had letters from COs. Even when I went to jail, when Dakota was in jail in a different county, I was in Ontario County. They sent mental health down to come see me, and I didn't know why. I had been there for fucking ever at this point. Like, I'd been there for like 8 days at this point in time, and like I'm like, why? What's going on right now? And all of a sudden, it dawned on me the next day when my homie comes running up to my door and wakes me up at fucking 7:30 in the goddamn morning, and I just went to bed at 6 because fucking head count happened. This motherfucker comes pounding on my door. He's like, dude, wake up, wake up, wake up. I'm like, why? And he's like, dude, they fucking got him. They brought him to Ontario County Jail to have him sentenced from an Ontario County judge because the judge in Hornell was too busy with another child murder case.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wait, so was he on the run at any point?
No, he
Okay.
wasn't allowed. They were watching him, like his parole. He was on parole even when this happened. So like,
Wow.
yeah, his parole officer is the only reason why he was allowed around the kids under the age of 18 supervised, because his parole
Well, fuck
officer
that
okayed
guy
it.
too.
Right?
Yeah, we can
Fuck
say that.
that
Fuck that
guy.
guy. Yes, we can.
Fuck
We can say that.
that guy.
Wow.
Fuck parole agents. You should be released to your own recognizance. You fuck up, then,
Obvi-
well, you're gone
Obviously,
for good.
you guys didn't wind up anywhere near each other, though.
Actually, he was in the pod next to me. That's why they sent mental health down. Not in the same pod as me. I was in pod 8. He was in pod 7. So there's in the jail. It's actually in this jail. It is a maximum security facility. All right. It has airlock chambers for everything. Your cell doors airlock.
Really? Ontario County?
Ontario County is a
would've
maximum
never guessed.
security fucking facility.
Okay.
The only people and the men get separated. Like workers go to one pod. All the certain crimes go to certain pods because they got to go to PC because code amongst thieves. You don't touch women or children. You know what I mean?
We gotta put him with all the other children touchers.
So-
He's not making it to trial.
Just
Yeah.
to clear up, what is PC?
Protective custody. Yep. Protective custody.
GP would be general pop.
Pop. Yep. GP's
Okay.
general population. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, no interaction between you guys?
Nope, not at all. So I was so thrown off by this. I was like,
Right.
so
Now,
It'd be that moment as a correctional officer that I
Phil.
would lose my job.
I feel like I
I'd forget
really
to lock
need a
the door.
stress ball right now.
is it you that's fidgeting over there?
I'm fidgeting really bad too.
here you
He's
go.
like,
John.
here's a pillow. Squeeze the pillow,
Squeeze the
John.
pillow.
I don't.
That's what I got. Squeeze it. Put it in your lap and squeeze it.
Need it.
Does it help?
You can't person.
Do it. Do it.
Put it in a ball. I don't know what to tell you, but that's what I got.
You all right over there, buddy?
No, he's holding my stress right now. Dude.
Oh,
I'll tell you that.
okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
So I've been fidgeting.
Yeah, we're all kind of fidgety
I
today.
get it.
It-
I don't
more so
blame
than
you guys.
usual.
I don't blame you guys.
And
See?
I'm usually a little better with my questions. I'm a little more quick with them.
It's stories.
This isn't the normal questioning. Even
Yeah.
though we've done this before, it's still hard to ask the
Yeah, it
question.
It really is. Man.
It's stories like these.
Thank you for understanding.
Absolutely.
This is how Jimmy's a machine. He's taking a hit like every 5 minutes.
Even though you guys have heard almost all of this before, you're still catching new bits inside of it because of the fact that you're prepared for the things you remember, not the other things that
That's exactly it.
Just wait.
were
there's
also
more.
there. But wait, there's more. I feel like a fucking Willie Mays commercial. But wait, there's more.
It's stories like this that
My head is literally spinning.
make me glad that I
Can't.
never went into law enforcement like I wanted to. I wouldn't have lasted.
Yeah, it would be hard, man. It really would.
A situation like that, like
Oh my god, it'd break me. For
my
sure.
my body camera died. Sorry,
Right, and I don't have one more.
the
I'm
GPS
missing a
and the
bullet.
car malfunction.
And that's why they'll never let us be cops.
Right.
The magazine of my firearm was loaded one round too short.
know
My bad.
is what helps most of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Have you ever heard stories? Okay, so when I was in lockup, all right, when I was in county, I've never gone to prison. Thank God, not a felon. Woo. Anyway, so when I was in county, you literally hear stories about the guards beating the shit out of inmates,
Oh, wow.
like
Oh, yeah.
for being like that. So like, there's justice served after justice is served. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well,
Like-
let's hope that fucking Dakota gets his fucking justice.
Yep.
And I didn't know how else to word it when I messaged you yesterday.
get it.
But this episode is purely for you and Ian. You and Ian, and hopefully to get his story out there, to get your story out there, and to get some fucking justice for him, man. So that if by chance in 20 whatever years when fucking Dakota has a chance to get out on parole, he doesn't. Hopefully that they can pull this episode up and they can listen to it and hear your hurt and your fucking pain
oh, I'm gonna sit in on that fucking that parole board hearing, and I'm going to tell them no.
Dude, give me a call. I don't even care if I live out of state at that point. I'll come back.
Oh,
For
dude,
real.
I'm gonna live out of state at that point. I'm moving to Florida at the end of next month.
Are
so,
you?
Yeah.
Good for you.
So, but I'm always down to come back and do or if we can do online stream podcasts with you guys,
sure
you know what
can,
I'm
dude.
saying? So
Yeah, for sure. And we're getting into like having more guests on and stuff and just shooting the shit. So we can definitely do that. Where it's not this story.
oh yeah, no, absolutely,
Not that Ian's story won't ever be a part of your story.
absolutely.
Now, going through this grief, yeah, I know you went through the addiction process afterwards.
Yeah.
But after getting clean from that, how would you describe your grieving process?
So, all right. So after that, my grieving process. All right. So still, I'm working on it. It's gonna be a constant process. You know what I mean? But it actually affected like my relationships and everything else like that too. And even as like relationships as friends with family members, with, you know, significant others, anything like that. You know, it holds a heavy like burden on me. You know, like I was supposed to trust this person. I had 2 kids with this person, and she let one of them get killed. You know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to trust somebody after that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, anyone in general after that. Not just, you know what I mean?
Right. And then you, at one point, really loved her.
Absolutely.
So it's hard to love again. I would
Absolutely.
completely understand that, man.
So, but the worst part is because of that, the PTSD, because everyone has a mild form of it, whether they know it or not. And whenever somebody says something to you that hurts your feelings, it's not the fact that that person hurt your feelings, it's the fact that somebody else said something to you like that, or said that to you and meant something else by it than what that person actually meant. And it triggers the emotional response, and you're like, yo, you just hurt my feelings. And in turn, you got to realize when somebody's talking to you, they're not always attacking, so you don't have to be on defense. And 9 times out of 10, most people are on defense, and we have to learn to react not off of our emotions. We have to swallow the emotion immediately and try to respond to the situation and talk about it and then process the feelings afterwards, because we can always go back and talk about the feeling with it, but the situation at hand needs to be handled. And putting feelings into that situation is going to fuck everything up. You know what I mean? And that's why when with my son, for instance, you know what I mean? Like, when everything happened, like, I told my dad, because my dad's like, oh, there's no wrong choice here when about pulling the plug. And I was like, there really is, because it'd be greedy for me to fucking ask my son to stay in a body that doesn't work. You know what I mean? I can't do that. So at that point in time, you know, he's like, you know, and I'm proud of you. It's like, but every fiber in my being and my soul wanted to hold on to him and I wanted to trap him there, but I knew I couldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like my emotions, I couldn't let get the better of me, because if I did that, I could have just completely screwed him over. You know what I mean?
It's very strong of you, man.
So
it really is. I don't have that outlook on life, and I'd like to. I give you a lot of credit, man. I really, really do. I think you're stronger than you realize, dude. I know you realize you're strong, but I think you are stronger than you even realize, man.
I appreciate that. It's hard for me to actually like accept it when I hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, bear with me. I'm also really shitty at taking compliments, so don't yell at me.
You're good, man. You are you, and you don't have to justify that to us or anyone else. So, do you guys have any questions that you would like to ask? I kind of stole the show, and I mean, it definitely didn't steal it from you, but
honestly, man, this the reason I was okay with it, and I'm pretty sure the guys were too, is because this is kind of how it played out the last time too, and it was more along the lines of he's the one that, like, they were there, you know, our couch surfer and John, you know, they were there when it happened, like they were part of my
I'm sorry,
process.
Our couch surfer for the camera that doesn't know. Lydia, you want to pop your head in there and say hi? John's wife's here.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah, so I'm hearing this I don't even know how many times, and it still hits me.
Dude, it's brutal, man. What happened
We,
to Ian
we,
is
we have an emotional support Lydia, though, this time.
yes, we did.
We did last time too.
We did. She was just tucked in the corner last time. This
Yeah.
time she's like,
She's actually, like,
what up?
She's with us.
visible.
Now we just need to get another mic and we'll be set. Now, if you could give any bit of advice to a family that is going through something similar, is there anything that you could say to them?
Honestly, no. Honestly, no.
That's
As much as it pains me and like breaks my heart to say that, like I would love to do anything I could, and the only thing that I could do is just be there to listen and to just be there to listen, because that's all I needed was just somebody to listen to me. You know what I mean? So that
totally respect that, man.
it's okay to not be okay. You know what I mean? But like,
Lean on me.
yeah, pretty much.
I know for me, if I remotely went through any of this with either of my kids, like I know with the shit that I've dealt with from my oldest, things happened. The rage I felt for those situations, losing a child in that kind of manner, I never would have come back for it.
Blind rage.
My baby girl needed me still.
And even with being a father too, like I think about it now, like if something were to happen to my oldest or vice versa, well, I'm with my wife, so I think I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
With my youngest, and not saying that I have to do with my oldest, but just the situations, and knowing me, knowing how I can be, my coping mechanisms for shit. In the right circumstance, I'm going away because whoever did it's going to be gone. Or it's going to be somebody that tries to mean well, that wrong place, fucking wrong time, a switch is flipped. I think something like that would shatter me as a fucking person, and it would get me locked away. I don't know that I would be able to.
You're saying you would lose your humanity.
Yeah. I as a person would fucking shatter, and somebody would be on the wrong end receiving of a switch that I could
And
not keep from
Can't
getting flipped.
shut off, yeah.
the thing is I think Phil felt that same way.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you right now, years and years of counseling. I'm still in counseling.
Good.
Good for
you.
How do I put this? I have almost steadily been in counseling since I was 9 to try and help me process everything that goes on. And father to father, I'm going to tell you right now, your other baby needs you more than you think. And I'm going to tell you right now, when it hits, I felt the same way you do until I was put in those shoes. And the moment I was put in those shoes, my baby, she was right in my head. Right in my head. Nope, I couldn't do it. As much as I wanted to, I'm not going to lie. I even sat there and I told them point blank, I was like, bring his ass here. Give me fucking empty room. 5 minutes, please. Like, I was begging the officers. Begging them.
5 minutes.
5 minutes in a room. Come on,
That's all
right
I
now.
fucking need.
That's all I need. Empty room.
That's all I need.
Just an empty room. I want to do it with my bare hands.
Ironically enough, I've said something similar to law enforcement. not for my own kids, but like involved with my family.
I get it.
Give me 5 minutes.
Of just give me fucking 5 minutes with him. Just go outside for paperwork, and being told I can't do that. Do I have to put you in cuffs? And I'm like, you're my fucking mama.
You might want to do it now then, because I'm gonna throw some hands.
Just get a fucking millimeter distracted, and it's fucking over.
Fucking right.
Now, what do you hope that people learn from Ian's story?
So from Ian's story in particular, so when we did the organ donations, his heart went to a little boy, and his kidneys went to an older male, and I mean, I've the heart, so his heart still beats on, parts of him still live on.
That's
You know what I
awesome.
mean?
It's fucking amazing.
And so, like, even in as cliche as it sounds, there is always a silver lining.
A piece of him lives on. So
Absolutely.
he's not.
And
He's not
even
completely gone.
And even if those pieces didn't get to live on, something lives on because this monster isn't out there to do it again.
Yeah.
It stopped him from doing it to another child.
His legacy lives on.
Absolutely.
As mediocre as the podcast is in numbers.
Fuck you, mediocre. You're fucking
I fucking love
mediocre.
you guys.
But that's exactly it, man. Now is you know, between you and the rest of Ian's family, like Ian's story does live on. It's never going to be erased from history. I mean, I can't say never. I mean, but
Right.
as far as we're aware, like.
At least our generation's gonna know about it.
Yeah,
Damn it.
exactly. And to grow on that, what do you think communities or individuals could do to help raise awareness of these type of situations where people shouldn't be allowed near children?
So here's the thing. People have done that. The unfortunate part about that is that some people overdo it or overdid it. And now when you call and report, hence this situation with my son, they thought I was being a vindictive baby daddy when my son was showing up with bruises at my house and my daughter as well. So when that happened and my mom made the report, that's when they did the investigation or started the investigation. Was when my mom made the report, not me. And I was like, oh, listen here. I was like, so many people, fucking cried wolf, and now the little boy's about to get eaten. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what happened. It was a real situation, and because they just thought I was a vindictive baby dad because it's fucking New York State. Sorry.
You're good, man. We talk about New York State too.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
worry.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, you said 2016,
2015.
2015.
Yep. Well,
I can remember listening to this being fucking tried on the radio
Yeah.
when I was commuting out to when I did the countertop job.
Yeah.
Now that I can fucking think about it because Noah was just born.
Yeah, it probably hit you real hard.
And that was one of the biggest things in my mind because I was fighting to be involved, and I was just like, man, I'd lose, just talking to coworkers and shit about it. Because my son being so new at that point, man, fucking, it took me a bit to fucking remember that. It was huge.
Oh, yeah. Like, how do I put this? So when it hit, it became a clickbait on Facebook.
Well, I also want to say with what happened with your son, launched an investigation into CPS.
Oh,
because
yeah.
CPS the year before was found responsible for another child's death in a similar means.
Right.
Child was left in care of somebody's boyfriend, father, multiple times. Like, hey, my kid's shown up with some sketchy bruises. They blamed him for his child being bruised, and he lost custody of, I think it was a daughter or something like that, and he went to jail. He was blamed for abusing his kids,
Oh, my
went to
God.
jail, and his daughter was murdered in the care of the other person.
Oh, my.
Yep.
And CPS, I want to say, went under investigation because of it. I don't know if that's like how the exact details were, but like they were like along those lines.
That's unreal to me, man. And especially
And
in
then-
a job like that,
Yep.
man, like where it really is child safety first. Like, that's fucking infuriating.
Oh, yeah. Especially
Uh-huh.
what's even more infuriating is the fact that in order for her to be granted custody on November 4th of 2015, she had to plead guilty to child neglect and abandonment on my children with her father to be awarded custody of the kids. And then 21 days
The
later,
fuck?
my
Yeah,
son, no, dead ass.
You can
It's
be caught
public-
with a
I want to go Donkey Kong right now, I swear.
It's Allegheny County. They gave her those kids.
You can be caught.
And then Steuben County killed my
Fucking
kids. Or my
needle-
kid.
Needle in your arm, puke all fucking over you, and you get awarded custody of your kids.
My fucking muscle in my side is literally twitching. with stress
But the
right now.
fucked up
sorry.
part,
You want to take a minute?
No, I want to fucking rage right now.
I'm so sorry. Yo, honestly,
no, dude. What do you mean? I'm sorry for you.
The next, I honestly want to go hit a rage room up
Yeah,
here
dude,
somewhere.
let's
Like,
do
I'm
it.
not gonna lie.
There's one in Henrietta.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Is that where you just get to break shit?
Yep.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He's like, I'm down. He's like, mic drop.
Again.
Oh yeah, we can make that happen for sure.
Break shit.
Shit, I mean, the worst part is, yesterday I tapped myself out. Yesterday was my dirty 30. So like,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so,
All right,
like-
happy birthday.
thank
I'm
you.
fucking older than him.
Yeah, you are. We established this the last time I was here. The fuck?
I don't remember. Remember?
No, I don't remember either, bro. I got a
Tell you what.
TBI and shit. I'm fucked up.
I'm so rage fueled from this story. It'd be good for some paintball. The freaking paintball pellets would be even more rage fuel.
I got PTSD with paintball. I can't do
Yeah,
it.
no. Because here's the thing. Because at the rage room, you're physically breaking stuff,
Oh, yeah.
not shooting somebody or something. You're like literally.
But have you ever
across the
shot a
room.
50-gallon drum of tannerite?
Yeah, with a 7 mag from 1,500 yards away.
Just saying, that's pretty fucking
I grew up in
satisfying, too.
Dansville and fucking Greenwood, bro. The fuck?
You see that tractor?
Dude,
See that tractor over
It's a
there?
crater.
they used to sell tannerite fucking like targets down at the corner store in Arkport, man. Like it was wild.
Quarter ounce reflective target.
I'm sorry.
Quarter ounce of tannerite reflective target.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly.
Sorry,
what it was.
reactive targets.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bought a couple.
yeah.
About a
Little
couple.
white ones with the orange. Yeah, yeah. They're
Quarter
fun.
ounce, you just go and goes poof.
Yep.
Pew.
Yeah, they're definitely fun.
Now 5-gallon bucket.
You know what we should
Bang.
do? No. I can't discuss that on here.
Yeah, we'll talk after the podcast.
I'm down. We're
don't
gonna go
worry.
blow up a toilet,
Oh,
and
that,
not the way you're thinking.
that sounds fun.
Did that earlier.
I said not the way you were thinking.
Oh man. Well, before we kind of wrap everything up, is there anything else that you would like to say about Ian's story? Is there any other stories that you would like to tell? Is there anything about your story that you would like to share?
Nothing more than just like explaining. I mean, I already explained once to who Ian really was as I knew him anyway. Because I'm not gonna lie, he literally was just like this little carefree dude. It was great. Like he'd just bring a little smile to your face. Like he loved pretty much everybody, and if he didn't like you, there was a reason. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Always trust the child's intuition.
Right. Well, see, I thought that with my daughter because there was only one person that she ever bit after she learned not to bite anymore, and it was my buddy Andy, and so it was Uncle Andy, per singer, and it was Uncle Andy, and her nickname from him was Hannibal, because she only bit him, but it was because every time she'd bite him, he'd laugh.
Oh, so it was a reaction thing.
She's like, oh, he's laughing. He's laughing. Fuck it, I'm gonna bite him again.
All right.
I'm like, bro.
Little velociraptor.
And well, Ian saw her do it one day. Walks over to her, and she's like, goes to bite him. And she grabs him, and he grabs her by the face, and he goes, and just gives her a kiss on the nose.
Aw, how
And,
cute,
like,
dude.
dude, I was like, oh, that's the cutest thing in the world.
Do that, sis.
He honestly, dude, he sounds like a great dude, and I have a couple of pictures that I found of him, and he was adorable, man.
He was.
And I'm sorry that light in your life has gone out.
Thank you. I mean, it's not. It didn't. It dulled for a little while, but now it shines bright again. And the reason being is because.
You just gave me goosebumps. Dude.
Sorry, boss.
That was good.
It shines bright. I mean, like I said, I know that because he was, like I said, he was a carefree little guy. He enjoyed everything. Like he always wore a smile on his face. Like that's what really fucked me up about this. Like he wasn't a fussy baby or anything like that. You know what I mean? So like, he just like, I know that he would want me to be happy anyway. Especially because in the end, we got partially what we wanted. You know what I mean? Like we got what we needed out of it. Not what we want. We got what we needed out of it, which was him off the streets, Ian, justice for Ian. You know what I mean? Like, like we got it, but we didn't get everything we wanted because, honestly, I do believe that his mom and his grandpa should have been tried. Like, they shouldn't have been able to walk away. Like,
He shouldn't be eligible for parole either, in my opinion.
No, he for sure shouldn't. Not.
Dude, they
But he won't make it that far anyway, so fuck it.
You want to know how they helped him originally? When they first got him, they charged him with 4 charges. Murder in the first, murder in the second, manslaughter in the first, and manslaughter in the second degree. He was convicted of manslaughter in the first and murder in the second. They tried to charge him with capital murder. Problem is, they were also going, and if they charged him with capital murder, that follows the death penalty. The best part is they were going to send him to another state to go to go convict him.
Because New York State does
Couldn't
not
do it. Yep.
validate the
However,
death penalty.
problem
Which
is the
fucking
state
dumb.
that they could do this with, they stopped doing the death penalty the year before.
Wow.
So, yeah. And also they couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt, you know what I mean, that he was guilty of murder in the first, or capital murder, basically. They couldn't, murder in the second and manslaughter in the first stuck.
What fucking reasonable doubt was there that
Bro.
he did what he did?
I still don't even know why he did what he did.
Who gives a fuck why he did it? He just did it. It's fucked up. Period. No one gives a fuck why he did it
I
anymore.
disagree with you. I am
I
fully
wanna know
fucking
why.
curious.
Oh,
Yeah.
What
I-
in your mind was so fucking wrong
I'll
to
have-
hurt a child that way?
I'd have to
Right.
be absent for that interview.
Dude, I feel bad spanking my
couldn't.
children. Like, I spank one of my kids too hard, like, on accident. I gotta go in the other room and fucking cry a little bit because I'm like, God damn, I'm a fucking piece of shit.
No, I thought I was out of questions, but I guess I'm not.
Dude, no, this just keeps bringing more questions.
Yeah.
It's a rabbit hole. Welcome to the Phil's rabbit hole. How far down do you want to go
Not
today?
that far, Phil. Not that far.
Calm your ass down.
I'm sorry. I
No,
had to.
you're good, man. So being that he is in a state penitentiary,
Right.
You technically can contact him. Have you ever?
Nope.
Have you ever expressed interest in it?
All right, so here's the dealio. When I was last in Ontario County Jail, I violated probation, and they wound up actually giving me my sentence instead of letting me finish out probation. I only had 6 months left on probation. Instead, they just gave me 7 months in county jail, or it was 12, but I had already done. With good time, I'd do 10, and I already did 3 months. Or I'd do 8, I'm sorry, and I already did a month in there. So I wound up meeting this kid, and we were talking, and he come to find out he's a fucking juggalo homie. I'm like, bro, what's good? You know what I mean? So we were spinning the pod one day, and I was talking to him. I was telling him my story, and all of a sudden he goes, all right, bro, I'm gonna have to stop you for a second. This happened in Hornell. I was like, yeah. He goes, don't tell me the guy's name. He goes, was his name Dakota? And I was like, yeah, why? And he goes, Miller. I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, when he gets out, I'm going to beat his ass. I was like, why? He goes, that's my cousin. I can't. I was like, fuck. He goes, you want to go the day he gets up? Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe.
Wow. So his own family fucking understands
His
how
own.
fucked up it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. So, you know what I mean? At that point in time, I'm like, you know what? If your own family's willing to take me out there and go fuck you up, let's do.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that just shows how much of a shitty person you are.
Yeah, and it also shows how much you've grown, and how strong you are as an individual to even have the idea of not going out there. I'll go out for you, bro.
For real.
I'll deliver all the retribution you want.
Totally. It'd be like the scene of the guys in that fucking fax machine from Office Space. Just stomping them out.
Fuck it. The worst part is I bet you if I sent you guys up there, I'd sit here fucking like Brad Pitt and be like, what's in the box? What's in the box?
You know what's in the box.
I'll just say it.
Taco Bell, what the fuck? Maybe.
All right, so I think we're gonna wrap it up.
That's fine.
Thank you very much, Phil, for sharing your story and for sharing Ian's story. It's well, there goes one of the cameras, but it's I'm very thankful for it, and I'm sure our listeners are as well.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Heart still breaks for you.
See you guys.